All right, I think we can get started. Yeah, again, welcome to today's airfocus webinar about how airfocus can support modern product management. Super excited to have you all here today. Super quickly to kick things off, um, shortly about me. My name is Malte. I'm the co-founder and CEO and CPO still of airfocus. We are the world's only modular product management platform, as many of you know. And I founded airfocus roughly 5 years ago because I was always dreaming of a platform like airfocus because I was a product manager myself and I was desperately battling Excel spreadsheets and PowerPoints, and I was always looking for a better way to kind of do product management and kind of solve user problems. I'm additionally also a father of two, and yeah, I'm currently also on a juice detox, which my wife forced me to do. So please be patient with me. The team here at Airfocus can confirm that it's a bit of a stressful time for me right now, without any food. So let's dive into the agenda real quick. So we're going to talk about what is modern product management, then how to actually implement kind of the theory that we cover in part one. How do we actually implement that in airfocus? So before we dive into what modern product management is, let's quickly talk about the state of product management. So we here at airfocus recently interviewed around 600 product management managers, and we will soon also publish a report on modern product management. And as a sneak peek, the data confirms what we all know, which is that product management has become mission critical for almost all companies and industries. However, despite like a lot of product management best practices being around and everywhere, 86% of product managers still claim to be trapped in the feature factory and not really focusing on outcomes and more like pumping out features every day because some C-level person asked to do that. And yeah, I think we are all trying to change that. So, but there's also like a lot of work ahead of us, which you can see by this very large number here, right? So, what is good and modern product management all about? So the next slide won't be super new for you, but I really love it because it serves as a good reminder, right? Our job as product managers is to discover a product that is valuable, usable, and feasible. Yeah. So PM is this intersection of business, technology, and the customer, or the UX, however you want to frame it. And I really love this chart because it symbolizes why product is so hard, right? So let's get a bit more concrete. We at airfocus here have defined 3 success criteria of modern product management. So it's about generating the right kind of outcomes for the business in this messy environment between like these technological possibilities and the customer need. And yeah, we have identified these 3 success criteria, which number 1 is the effective product strategy. So the effective product strategy very goes hand in hand with a clear product roadmap, and we're going to cover this on the next slides. And then number 2, very important, you want to have empowered teams. Yeah, teams that are enabled to build discovery to delivery workflows that actually empower them to solve the problems that they are asked to solve faster, right? So this is also going to be a chapter we're going to dive a bit deeper very soon. And then thirdly, this is also, I think, a topic that we are all super aware of and we are constantly reminded of is the customer centricity. So to solve the right problems through like centralizing and organizing feedback and generating these deep insights that help the product teams better understand the users and customers and do a better job. Yeah. So let's double click on each of these 3 criteria for now. So product strategy is the logical plan of how the product will drive its part of the company strategy. It's about how to make the product vision a reality while meeting the needs of the company as you go. Yeah. So I think that's a short and precise statement that outlines really what this product strategy part of this first success criteria is, and then here also what actually the definition of a product roadmap is, because it's the document that communicates the direction that you are going to take to achieve the goals that the company or product is aiming for, right? And yeah, I've over time have heard quite a lot of different roadmap definitions, and I think you don't want to be too strict, but I think how we define a roadmap is for sure not a collection of features that are to be released and then put on a Gantt chart. That's not a roadmap. That's what a release plan is there for. Yeah, but in summary, the first success criteria is super key, because in the past, with like less products out in the market and less competition and all of that, you would maybe be fine by just launching more and more features every month, but that's not enough anymore. You will win or lose based on the quality of your products and the ability to implement a product strategy appropriate for where the company is addressing the right customer needs. So the second one is super interesting. It's about empowering each team to build unique discovery to delivery processes so they can solve hard problems faster. Yeah, and this is based on the underlying understanding that every company product team is unique, and that's why you also need to live and breathe product management processes that work for you and that fit you, right? And you can empower your cross-functional teams to solve these problems. Yeah, and that only works when you actually also can work in an environment that is effective, right? It's not just about like understanding the right problems. It's also about effectiveness and efficiency at some point, and the teams need to be empowered to define workflows that make sense for them. That's a big and key mantra here at airfocus. And irrespective of whether you use dual track, agile, or the double diamond framework, all these frameworks differentiate between the problem space and the discovery, the solution space, right? So problem space being the discovery, solution space being the delivery. I mean, a lot of this is not news to you, but it's kind of here right now to frame the discussion around what we're gonna see in the product very soon. So product discovery essentially helps you figure out the problems as well as the tactics that actually helps you solve the problem, while product delivery builds that solution so you can bring it to market. Yeah. And I think best practice around this topic is that product organizations make product discovery like an integral and continuous part of their processes. Yeah? They empower their teams to implement the right workflows and processes that make sense for them, while still making sure that they're kind of doing the things that the customers want and kind of being in line with the work of other teams, and then also of course being kind of guardrailed by the higher level strategy and roadmap. Yeah, you need these guardrails. So this could also mean then, and here's an example, that maybe the web team A here runs a very modern dual track agile process, and they do RISE prioritization, they use Jira, they use Amplitude, so they have kind of their way of doing things. But then team B is maybe following a different methodology. Here in this case, not very different, but at least slightly different, with the double diamond methodology. And they're also using maybe a different prioritization framework if they use any. They're also on Jira, which is great because they can maybe share some work on shared projects or so. But they're using like a different analytics or user research tool with FullStory, right? And then this company, they have a third team, which is a more internal focus team. And for some reasons, which might be good reasons, they're still on some like waterfallish or similar workflows. And since they don't really have like market-facing customers, they're not really focusing on these processes a lot right now because it's very clear what they need to do. So, and they might be on like a completely different project management tool. So what you see here, like this is an example where you see these empowered teams running individual workflows that make sense for them. Yeah, and it's I think it's a good thing in many cases if you make sure they're kind of following the higher level roadmap, and if you make sure they kind of are being customer centric. So, and then this is the third point around the customer centricity. We have observed that the best product organizations set up feedback management systems that really feed back to the product teams and inform the work they're doing to ensure they're solving the right problems. So we will see this later in airfocus also how you can centralize feedback and then create these deep insights for the product team and the product management people. Yeah, so this is the theory part, and we are now jumping to the how to actually implement all of this in airfocus. So it's about how to bring this to life in your product organization and how to configure that in a way that works for you. Yeah. So airfocus, as a quick intro, is designed to make modern product management easy by giving you the tools to create a product management system that fits your org and your team and your needs. Yeah. And I know I'm repeating here from time to time, but this is really key to the framework that I just introduced, but also the airfocus platform that we are entirely focused around solving your needs and understanding your needs, and then giving you just the tools that you need in order to do that, right? So with our flexible platform, we help you with we help you manage the strategy, help you understand the user needs. Prioritization is a big topic, has always been, and we help you obviously align your teams around clear roadmaps. Before we get started, let's take a very brief look at how airfocus actually works in its architecture, right? So in airfocus, product work is organized in workspaces. So a workspace is made up of items that could be like your initiatives, your opportunities, your epics, your feedback, right? Items, views, fields, apps, and integrations. Yeah, so that's really it, and I will show you that on a real product in a minute. For the airfocus customers here on the call, you all know this, but we have some outside people here, which I'm very excited to welcome. So in order to follow our modern product management framework, you have to kind of work with multiple workspaces and connect them in a clever way. Yeah, and a combination of 3 types of connected workspaces could look like this. And this is what we're also going to see in the product very soon. So here you have a strategic roadmap on the highest level. And then you have the opportunity pipeline, which is on the opportunity or idea or epic level, however you want to call it. And this is the place where you push these opportunities through a process, your discovery to delivery process. And then all of this is informed through feedback and insights. So you're centralizing feedback in one place and then generating these connections to the product work here, be it on your opportunity pipeline or the roadmap, up to you. But the idea is that you always have the feedback and what the customer wants at hand. So let's now dive deeper into what each of these 3 workspaces can do and how they're connected, and also how they contribute to your modern product management journey. So in airfocus, this is for the new people. This is the airfocus home. On the left side, you have your sidebar, which you can easily collapse. And in airfocus, we have templates, and the templates are the fastest and best way to create a workspace. And here you find the full product management workflow template. So you can see in just 2 clicks, you can now install this workflow, and this workflow gives you exactly what we just saw on the previous slide. So it gives you a strategic roadmap, it gives you an opportunity pipeline, and it gives you a feedback and insights workspace. And here we already have it pre-configured. So let's dive right into the strategic roadmap. So before we talk about what you can do here and what's the job of this specific workspace, let's super quickly get familiar with the essentials of airfocus. So in airfocus, this is the workspace right now. This is where you can collaborate with other people around this topic or product management in general. And you can invite these people super easily here. Then, as introduced, we have items. So This is the entity here in airfocus. On this workspace, we have configured them to be initiatives. And then each item has fields, or so you can add a field value to the item, and you can also manage your fields very importantly here in the field settings. So you can create all types of field types, up to you. Again, we don't want to define which fields you're seeing in your interface all day. And the third component are the views. They are also custom, so you can define which views you want to interact with and have in order to visualize your items and fields. And then the fourth dimension are your extensions, and extensions essentially have integrations. So we have all kinds of integrations with like Jira, Trello, Asana, Azure DevOps, all these get stuff done tools. And then of course, the feedback tools like Intercom and Slack, and more coming soon. Yeah, so this is the basics of airfocus. And the strategic roadmap, this is the workspace where you will find and manage your high-level initiatives and projects. This is about big problems to solve. This is nothing that changes every day. It's usually in line with what like C-level or higher management kind of have in plan. So it's a strategic document that, as we've defined earlier, kind of provides direction and visualizes it and helps get alignment across teams. Yeah, so you're solving the right goals and implement the right initiatives. So here in this workspace, you can customize the roadmap. So you can, for example, see the objectives also. So you want to like swim lane by objective very easily. You can also kind of make the view look much different. So you can color code items. You can also show the linked opportunities. So you will learn in a minute that the strategic roadmap is connected to the opportunity pipeline through a feature called hierarchy. And since it's enabled here, you can also show the child items of each initiative. And let's quickly talk about how the hierarchy can be configured. So you can see here in the workspace settings that this workspace here at hand is the parent workspace of the opportunity pipeline. So for each of the items, you can see the linked opportunities, and you can add more from the other workspace, which we will also enter in a minute. All right. So what can you also do here? You can visualize the roadmap in different ways. So you can see here there's a view that shows your initiatives on a very simple and lean list view, which you can also make and look like a little bit of a tree, right? So you can see here the nested opportunities, but we also have different view types, and you can customize them depending on your needs. So if you want another board that's maybe showing a subset of the items, easy. If you want to show these initiatives on a timeline, which is maybe for this roadmap exercise not what we want to do right now, but it's we have different view types, and they're very powerful. And then the other thing is that you want to share these roadmaps with different audiences in different ways, right? And you can do that through share links. So you can easily create a share link, configure it in a little bit, password protected, and then send it out to people. And the people will in real time see what you have put on this view. And if you have a view that maybe only shows a subset of the items and kind of color codes them or does whatever, the people who have access to the share link will only see that. Yeah, but that's a core job of the roadmap to inform and communicate your plans, and that's why the sharing, especially on the roadmap level, is super key. All right, let's now switch to the opportunity pipeline, which is another workspace and which is a bit bigger. So you want to use the opportunity pipeline workspace to manage the opportunity and epic backlog, and you want to focus on the problem space here really primarily. And you want to run these discovery workflows and prioritize the epics and opportunities. And then towards the later stages of the life cycle, you also want to plan the delivery and hand over items to Jira, maybe with like timeline views and so on. So If you have multiple products or teams, we in most cases, not in all cases, we recommend that each team or product gets its own workspace, so it can build these unique discovery to delivery workflows. Because we've seen on the example on the slides that there are very often good reasons why teams have like these slight differences in how they work. And yeah, let's quickly also talk about like the benefits of such an opportunity pipeline, right? And I have here this little image attached. So the opportunity pipeline is a dedicated space for each team where they can set up discovery to delivery workflows that fit them. It's kind of your source of truth for all your product. And we here at airfocus also use airfocus ourselves heavily. And there's kind of a rule: when it's not in airfocus, it's not existing. So we put everything here, all the comments, all the notes, all the files, all the links, and this is super helpful because you know where to look for stuff. And then this place here, the opportunity pipeline, is also super great for visualizing approved work and monitor progress when things go to delivery eventually. Yeah. So what you hopefully by now have learned from me, that this workspace is a PM's and product team's entire universe where they spend most of their time. And here on the backlog, they can like easily manage all the data of the items. It gives them kind of a good overview around what to do. And you can also see this item already has been sent to Jira. If we would want to send this one to Jira, we could easily do that with a bunch of clicks and then track the progress from within airfocus, so we see how it's developing in Jira. So that's all very easy to configure. And then just as a quick reminder to understand how these workspaces work together and communicate with each other, also from this workspace here, you can configure the hierarchy. So we had this exact same interface on the strategic roadmap workspace, and here we have it again. And here you see this workspace, the opportunity pipeline, is a child of the strategic roadmap workspace, which means for each of the items here, you can add an initiative on the roadmap and really kind of make sure that the epic or opportunity level is in sync with your higher level plans on the now, next, later strategic roadmap. Yeah, and then another feature that we that people heavily use on this hierarchy level here, not so much on the roadmap, but on the epic opportunity pipeline level at a certain stage, it makes complete sense, is the priority ratings app. And the priority ratings app allows you to standardize prioritization with your own custom scoring framework, right? So you have here multiple factors, three of them actually, a Y factor, X factor, and R factor. You will understand in a minute why we have three and why they're called like this, because they also can be shown on a 2x2 chart. And then for each factor, you can define the criteria that you want to use here, and also the weighting of the respective criteria. And there's like a lot of additional powerful functionality here, for example, custom formula, but I'm not gonna go into detail at all here. But what this priority ratings app gives you, if you want it, again, it's a modular piece of this workspace. You can enable it, you cannot enable it, but it gives you this prioritization framework here. And you can then kind of give ratings for each of these opportunities. And when you do this, or maybe I should quickly to better visualize this, show you that kind of depending on what changes you make here, the priority score gets changed. And this is really helpful because it gives you this kind of North Star metric on other views. So you always have at hand, okay, why am I actually doing this, right? Because this is kind of the result of what you have here. And then once you're done with the priority ratings, we also visualize your opportunities here on a 2x2 chart. Yeah, we have the quick wins on the top left and the time wasters on the bottom right. And the bubble size, if you use that factor, can also depend on the rating that you do. In this case, it's not configured. But this view, for a certain stage of this discovery to delivery process makes complete sense. For example, when you already know what the problem is, you have done like basic discovery, you know roughly what the effort is. It's a really powerful tool to kind of prioritize. And again, we have multiple prioritization templates in the template store if you want to kind of try something else that depending on what works for you. And then here on the board view, this is actually my favorite view here. This is where you push your opportunities and epics through this Kanban pipeline workflow. And it's a little bit inspired by what salespeople do, right? They have this pipeline of leads, and then they push them through, and at the end of the day, they buy something. And I think you can also approach product opportunities a little bit like this. So they arrive here because someone has an idea or because a customer mentions something, and then at some point, together with your team, you make the decision, okay, to move this to discovery. Then potentially, when you don't reject it, you want to send it to design. Then it goes into development in your Jira, and you can track the progress from in here. So when it moves to a later status in Jira, it will automatically update here in airfocus as well. And then usually when it's live or deployed and it's not like Jira territory anymore, I think the job of the product manager or the product team is not over, right? Because you're still measuring success. You still want to make sure to generate the learnings for the problem that you solved, maybe based on the data that you generated afterwards. But it's a key part of PM also to measure success after you launch something, and then potentially kill projects and opportunities again. Yeah. So this view best reflects your discovery and delivery process, and it's really good to align the team. It's the single source of truth for the product team. And of course, this is just like one way of doing it. You can customize the statuses that you want to use, but what you see here, where you have from new discovery design to eventually done, this is a very proven workflow that we also use at airfocus ourselves. So when you have now prioritized which opportunities to pursue, and you have slowly started to enter the solution space, so the delivery phase, then you will inevitably have planning conversations around when to implement items and opportunities. And a timeline view is a great tool in this stage, as it allows you to visualize also the dependencies. It helps you plan, helps you and the other stakeholders to better understand when something will be delivered, how long it's going to take. And it's really a very helpful planning tool, and it helps you with your releases and your sprint plans for sure. Okay, great. So for this high-level view of opportunity pipeline, we're done, and we would now move to the feedback and insights workspace. And you want to use this workspace to capture and centralize feedback from different channels in one place, right here. And then you want to organize it and segment it in a way that suits your needs. So you then later can turn it into valuable feedback piece. So you then can turn these valuable feedback pieces that you find here into insights, right? So by linking them to your opportunities. So this workspace here is linked to the opportunity pipeline via the Insights app. So you can here see the power of the modularity and the apps and how they can interact with each other. So you can link it to this one opportunity pipeline if you have one, but if you have three, as outlined in the example on the slide deck, you can also add multiple workspaces and use this centralized feedback repository to inform all kinds of departments and workspaces. And this workspace here with the inbox view is really like a mailbox of the product team. So where the colleagues even can send feedback from Slack, or customers can provide feedback via like our forms or email, and then stakeholders, you can give them access, and they can also leave feedback directly here and interact with you on the comments. One other feature that I would super shortly show you, but it's not like part of a focus topic today, is the airfocus portal, because the airfocus portal is kind of a website that you can create with your custom logo and custom colors and custom pages. And this is a place on the internet that you can create an airfocus and where you can send selected items and present them in a kind of more market-facing way, right? So these items are looking much better. You put maybe a nice design on it and a better market-facing description. And so it's not like this typical internal item that you use when you do like product management ticketing work in airfocus. So you can send your items, be it on the roadmap, be it on the opportunity pipeline. You can send them to your portal or multiple portals, and then you can also get feedback from the people via the forms here. So you can ask for general feedback, but you can also ask for feedback for given items. And this feedback can also land here in the feedback and insights workspace. So you have a very neat way to collect information from your people. But you can also integrate with Intercom or Slack or Zapier or other channels. Really make sure to also establish a process in your company around looking at this feedback in a regular base. And then, and this is now the key part of the feedback and insights workspace, you want to generate these insights. So let's say this part here is a very valuable feedback piece. So you want to now create an insight for it. And the way you do this is you highlight the relevant parts in that conversation here. In this case, it seems like a chat. And then you want to link this highlighted part with an opportunity in your opportunity pipeline. Yeah. So we have now done this. So you can see there's this one has one insight to an item in another workspace. And when we now switch to that other item, so we're switching again to the opportunity pipeline workspace. So you can now see here on the item that there are actually 4 items, 4 feedback insights, and you can now in real time get a really good understanding about the context of the customers that said something about this push notifications thing, right? Yeah, so you can also then here on the table and in the prioritization framework see the items that the insights that have been added for each of these items, and you can also make the insights a criteria of the prioritization framework. So every time the insight count gets increased, so new insights get added, depending on the weighting that you give the insights criteria here in the prioritization rating settings, your priority score gets updated in real time, which is very powerful, right? You're essentially giving your customers and users a seat on the prioritization table. Yeah. Yeah, and then very important, as a last step of the feedback loop, you want to get back to the customers or whoever sent the initial feedback, right? Whenever you have an update for them. So let's say the push notifications epic now moves to done, which you can see here. You may want to get back to these people in these individual items and then send them a quick email. Hey, by the way, the feature that you've asked for has now been launched, or the problem that you raised has been resolved. Yeah. Yeah. So this is really what I wanted to present to you on the highest level, how you can implement this more theoretic modern product management framework with 3 success criteria, how you can implement that in airfocus. And the best way to do that is with like 3 workspaces as a start, and then you can customize these workflows. If you happen to have like feedback in multiple places and you have good reason why you want to split it up, just add another feedback workspace and link it to your one or many opportunity pipelines. If there are good reasons to have a second strategic roadmap, do it, add it. You can also, and this is also something that I'm not going to go into details about, but you can also use a very powerful app called Item Mirror, which allows you to kind of mirror items from one workspace to another workspace, and then do work in that other workspace on that item and have them linked in a clever way. So these workspaces are are meant to communicate with each other. And that's really the power of the platform. All right. So I'm really done with the demo right now. So let's take a little bit of a look at the key takeaways of today, which I would love to also get feedback on in the Q&A session afterwards. But number one, for sure, is organizations, teams, and products are unique and they require unique solutions. And you have seen now in airfocus how these teams can do that in an airfocus workspace. And then secondly, you empower the product teams and PMs to find their way of working, and they will solve the problem. That's what we've seen over and over again. This empowerment of these individual teams and PMs is very powerful because you have the third key takeaway here. The roadmaps and these clear feedback processes are kind of guardrails for these empowered teams. So they, on the one hand, had a lot of freedom and autonomy to work in the workspaces. But on the other hand, they're always making sure to use the Insights app, centralize feedback, link it in a clever way, and also link back to these high-level roadmap initiatives on this kind of shared workspace. I wanted to say thank you all for joining this webinar. If you want to experience the new way of product management yourself, you can go to airfocus.com and sign up for a free 14-day airfocus trial, or you can reach out to our friendly product consultants and book a demo with them. We're always happy to talk to you and have conversations around products and your problems. And if you thought this topic around how to do modern product management in airfocus was interesting, you can also read the guide by scanning the QR code below. If you don't have your phone in front of you at hand, we will also share the report with you afterwards with an email. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for joining today. And yeah, reach out on LinkedIn and give feedback also if you like this webinar and if we should do more of those and whether you have questions. We are super happy and to talk to you. And thanks again for joining. Have a great day. Take care.